This is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
Hey, I told you guys! Don't go burying just one yet! Woo, all I've heard for the last 5 weeks is we want Dallas! So all you haters, you come down for me! You fuel the fire! Because I want it! Are you ready? Hey, you dig it!
What is up? Welcome to another edition of Tag Nation. It's your boy Mike Tag. Of course, I'm here with my man Jimmy D. We got a good show. You know, it's Cowboys just got off a pretty nice victory, handling LA, taking that stadium over, slapping them around like I told you. If you listen to me, I told you that we'd do that. I told you Stafford was going to be in a lot of pain. It wasn't personal, just business. But before we dip into a lot of Cowboy talk, because I got some special guests. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, man. We've gained over 150 new subscribers in the last week, so we want to keep this train going. Now, more importantly, I got to give my man Jimmy D the floor because I watched what happened in Tampa. I was seeing it on TV. Couldn't believe my eyes, but Jimmy D, as a Falcon fan, what was going through your mind with that BS call to end the game and to ruin the hopes of a comeback?
You know, let's draw the guidelines of history, Mike Tag. You know that Tom Brady's been the golden boy of the NFL for years. They've been protecting him. So yesterday we got the momentum. We're coming back. We stopped him. A.J. Terrell stopped him with a third down play, gets called for a holding. Phantom holding call. Even the announcer said, that was ridiculous. He shouldn't have called that. It's crazy. So, all right, you know what? 3 more downs again. Boom. Grady Jarrett takes down Tom Brady with a picture-perfect textbook sack. Jerome Boger with the flag. And as always, the referees in the NFL come to the aid of Tom Brady, squash our comeback, squash the momentum. And not to mention, they get on last night and defend their actions. They defend the call. Boger says, oh, well, you know, he slammed to the ground. Why don't we talk about Brady coming back and trying to kick Grady Jarrett after the play? We don't want to talk about that. It's always about Brady. So you know what? I'm not going to say the man is the GOAT. We all agree with that, but he's still under protection. It's almost like a, certain type of family, if you will. They provide protection, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how this referee lives in Atlanta and you guys allowed him to get home.
You know what? You bring up a very good point, Mike Tag. I don't know, but I did see some money exchange after the game. I don't know what that was all about, but oh, dude, the words that were coming out of my mouth during that play are not fit for a family-friendly show like this. So, I just really pissed off. We were playing for first place in Tampa. We had them on their heels. You know, we get the ball back. You never know what's going to happen. And guess what? We were only 6 points touchdown, and the extra point. We're walking home in first place. Instead, we're coming home with empty pockets.
Empty pockets. And I tell you about pockets. I don't know if you guys saw it, but when that ref threw that flag out, I saw some $100 bills flying out of his pocket. I knew you guys were doomed. I knew it was a matter of time before it was going to happen. So It sucked for you guys. I felt for you. You know, nothing living in Tampa. I hate to say it, nothing feels better than beating Tampa and seeing other teams beat Tampa, shut these fans up a little bit. So that part disappointed me because it gave them a little bit more, a little more juice, a little more things to talk about. But, one thing going for you in your division, you already had a casualty with one of the coaches, right? Matt Rule is gone. So that team's in turmoil. That team, they fired the defensive coordinator too, I believe. So I don't know what they're going to be doing there.
Well, like I said, our division's wide open, and that's what pisses me off the most. We could have been, we're 2-3. We could have been 3-2, in the driver's seat. Granted, we lost to the Saints. We got them one more time, and they're playing better with Andy Dalton behind, playing quarterback. But anyway, again, it's an open division, so that just kills me the most. That's what's bothering me more than anything right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. But more importantly, we're talking about the Cowboys. Another underdog situation. We're going to the defending Super Bowl champions crib. Nobody's giving us a shot. We're going in there with our backup. We go ahead and handle that business. The defense has been relentless. It's been relentless. The only thing missing maybe from our team is my man Jose, right? He's wanting to see if Jimmy will get us Kyle Pitts
Nah.
to the Cowboys. I don't know if you want to do that.
No,
Jose
I don't
would
think
not.
that's. I don't think it's a wise decision. Kyle Pitts didn't play yesterday. He was out. He was hurt.
Yeah.
Patterson's out for a month. But yeah, I think I might pass on that one for now, Jose. But I appreciate the thought.
but no, it was a great. I tell you what, just the way the game started, with a sack fumble, Tank picks it up, turns it for a tee, sacked by Armstrong. Then he comes back with a block punt. I mean, puts us in position. But the one thing, and we're going to get into it a little bit more, but the one thing it kind of showed is, you're starting to see. I know you wanted quarterback controversy. I know you predicted it like Jim Stradamus always does, and we're going to get into that a little bit more on our next episode. But I think it kind of shows his progression is kind of going down each time as teams get more film on him. There's a little more tendencies and things like that. So I know Jose don't agree with me, but hopefully we get Dak back. It's not going to be this week. We're gonna have to win one more with Cooper Rush, but he's done a phenomenal job. No interceptions. That's the key. That to me is the key when you're talking about getting your backup in, is no turnovers. You need to make sure you protect the ball. He's done a pretty good job with that. Yeah, he got a little lucky a couple games, but that don't matter. All that matters is, did it happen or didn't it? So we'll see what happens. And that's right. We're going to get into this, Jose. And I'm bringing on some special guests, Jimmy. These guys, they reached out to me. I don't know if it was last year or year before. We'll have to catch in. But, I went on the show, dropped a hype video. It was Eagles week for them. Got everything going, man. These guys bring it. The only thing I don't understand is why it's birds versus boys. Boys should be first. So I'm gonna have to find out if there was some sort of side pocket deal that made them do that. But we got one half on, because personally for me, I'm only gonna bring on the Cowboys guy first. That
That's
way
what has to happen.
Business, and we can get it going. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, guys? I don't know if you were watching that in the background, but I'm actually at my in-laws' house, right? So I'm not home because I have a meeting tomorrow for work. So wife's staying here with the baby. So I'm in the basement. I'm at the bar. I'm like, this is going to be great. Set up, all ready to go. Wi-Fi is just not working. So I don't know if you guys, I'm running upstairs with the laptop. Wife's helping me. I'm plugging things in to get. So I think we're good now. A little hectic. I'm feeling good.
No, you sound. This could be the first time on this show that I got more merch in my background than somebody else on the screen.
I got here some. You need some help with
There we go. We got something.
Just hold this up here.
There. That's what I want to see. So before we get started, make sure you tell the people where can they find you. You guys got a great show. I was telling Jimmy D, you guys are kind of like Jimmy D and I have been friends since high school. I said these guys are probably the same. They're like us, but maybe 15 years a little younger.
So show's called Birds vs. Boys. We started 3 seasons ago. This is our 3rd season. We run Birds vs. Boys pod on Twitter. We're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. That's where we are. So concept of the show is I am a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, live outside of Philadelphia. I'm actually married to an Eagles fan. It's miserable. And I'm doing the show with Aiden, who is an Eagles fan. So we talk everything NFC East. We talk everything NFL. We have any kind of guest you can imagine on. It's not just Cowboys. It's not just Eagles. We just had Willie Colon on last week, former Super Bowl champion from the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Jets. So we talk everything. But this is it, right? It's hate week. This is what it's all about. So Aiden, I mean, he said he would be on by 8:10. It's 8:09.
Well, the man is running. The man is a coward. He's scared. He knew what happened last time. We slap him around. The one thing I always hear, and I don't know if you get it, is Mike Tag. We're coming for you. The Eagles keep it. We're coming. I said, you've been coming for us for 3 years. Well, all of a sudden it's gonna, what's going to change? What's going to change? So, what is your opinion? How are you feeling? Because I know a lot of Cowboys fans, Cowboys Nation. When Dak got hurt, we looked terrible in the first game. I was there. I had to sit through it. There's a lot of people ready to jump off, blow it up. This is not going to happen. I mean, I was one of the few, hopefully you were too, that said, hey, just relax. It's early. Let's just things play out. We're going to face some adversity. Let's get it out of the way early rather than late. So what was your thoughts going in, after week 1? And
I was definitely a little nervous. I actually did our react. We each do also a reaction pod, 15-minute show right after the game. As he does an Eagles one, I do a Cowboys one. I did it with a bag on my head. So that's where I was. Not too good. But then as soon as the Bengals came, ripped the bag off the head. But no, I was more nervous. I wasn't nervous about the defense, right? They still didn't give up 20 points in that game. They didn't look bad. Micah was sacking Brady. I was definitely worried about the offense. Dak did not look good. Then he gets hurt. There was no mojo there. And then it's like, okay, we're turning to Cooper Rush. Yeah, Cooper Rush beat the Vikings last year, but he was also cut from this team, right, during training camp and then put on the practice squad. So it's like, where are we going to be at? But I mean, now I was listening. There's no quarterback controversy. Okay, yeah. We can just put that. We can put.
I know. Well, you got people that wanna bring it up. Jimmy's one of the lead dogs. He's leading the charge on it.
Look at like Rocky said. Like Rocky said, I'm not emotionally involved here. After that second game, I said, could there be a quarterback controversy? And I got news for you, man. If you're winning, why would you break something? Why would you?
Because this offense is not sustainable.
I don't know, man. You guys are winning.
Yeah.
Okay. I know your defense is playing great. You had good special teams yesterday. But if I'm you, I go with the hot hand.
Yeah, but is that hand really that hot? Is it?
Yeah,
he's won.
This is what I'll say.
But 10 of 16 for 102 yards. He threw for 102 yards yesterday.
You see, and this is I'll bring up another point. And this again, I'm not emotionally invested here. Cowboys fans are very negative in social media and everything. You're great fans. I'm not saying that, but it's always negativity. Some of the comments we get on here each week from Cowboys fans, I just shake my head. Then I go on Twitter and I really shake my head.
So the way I think about it, he is doing his job admirably, right? He's winning games. He's not turning the ball over, even though there has been multiple times where he probably should have turned the ball over. Some taken away by penalties, some just dropped. The thing that I think about is, Cowboys scored what, Mike? 23 against the Giants, 25 against the Commanders, 22 yesterday against a Rams defense that is not playing great. I feel like if Dak is in there and they're humming like they were last year, they're putting 40 up against the Giants. They're putting 40 up against the Commanders. When they start going against defenses like the Packers, even the Vikings coming up later in the season, they're going to need to be able to score more points. So I don't think it's sustainable long-term. Is it great right now? Absolutely. Do I think Cooper is the right option to play against the Eagles this week? Yeah, because I need Dak thrown for at least 2 weeks before he's going to play in a game. I feel like the worst thing that could happen right now is Dak start this game in Philadelphia, gets thrown into the Lions den against possibly the best team in the NFC, loses, and then it's in his head. Twitter, like you said, is going to go crazy. I don't want to curse on here. Every darn morning show, that's all it's going to be. Cowboys are on there 24/7 as it is. If Dak loses in Philadelphia in his first game back, that's all it's going to be, and we don't need that.
No, and I'll cut it here. I mean, Cooper Rush, great story. This is what you want. This is, you're playing with a little bit of house money right now. I think all of us, at least I know for me, if he can go 500, I'll take it. So Right now he's going 4-0. He's probably got another week left in him, right? So you're going to he's going to go against Philly. Now you got the Lions, you got the Bears. The last thing I want is for Dak to come back not ready, not practicing, but forced back and have a bad game. And, then that's when the floodgates are going to open. So I would much rather go with what we got. The defense is there. My man's saying that Philly's, possibly, at least you said possibly, the best team in the NFC. But we're going to find out real fast if they're half the team that the media's claimed them to be. My man Aiden's claimed them to be. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking about it. I would say, you know what? I'm going up to Philly. I'm going to go to that dump they got a stadium. I want to see with my own eyes. I want to see the tears flowing down the eyes of Eagles fans as they're walking out with their head hanging low. But I said, you know what I might do? I might do something a little bit different. I might get in a Learjet. I might be flying to Dallas. I'm going to be picking a spot because I want to hang with Cowboys Nation so we can soak up that victory together. So stay tuned.
Come to Philly. We're hosting a tailgate. Birds vs. Boys tailgate in Philly this Sunday. What would be better than Mike Tag to be there?
Well, we'll definitely check that out. But more importantly, I got to bring my man Aiden on.
Oh, he's here.
He's an Eagles fan, but I do like him. So
Get him
he
out of
finally
here.
made
Get him
it.
out of here.
We got a little cowboy talk, and so I want to give him the opportunity. Aiden, how's it going, my man? 5-0, Aiden. How you going?
Fantastic. How are you guys? Great to see you. I wore my best attire. We own the East. I thought that'd be fitting for a show like this.
All right.
What happened
My
last
entire
year?
life, own the East.
Oh man. So what's your feeling? What's your feeling? You guys, be straight. We're gonna have a serious conversation. I know with the Eagle fan, we always, jaw back and forth. I haven't seen a lot of games. I'll be honest with you. I saw your first game. I think I saw one of the games against Washington. You guys are winning. And I'll throw the old thing that I got to hear all the time at Dallas, and Eagles fans threw this at us last year. So I'm going to throw it back. Who have you beaten? Give me some. How you feeling about the schedule? Are you guys the real deal or you paper champions?
Here's the thing. I feel great about this team. I feel horrible about this week and this Sunday and Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. This past weekend, the Phillies won their first playoff series in over a decade. They swept the Cardinals. The Eagles win on a last-second missed field goal. And then the Mets, our biggest rival, aside from the Cowboys, absolutely collapse and fall on their face. We haven't experienced this level of sports fortune in so long that I know what comes next is it comes careening down and we lose to the Cowboys. This is a great football team. I'm having fun, but I know how Philadelphia sports work, and I am terrified.
Damn. He sounds more negative
for you.
He sounds more negative than some of the Dallas fans. Now I got to bring this up because think about it. The Cards, that was a last-second field goal. The Jags, you had horse face. You had you guys on the run until the fourth quarter. You guys came back and beat Jacksonville at home. The Commanders, I mean, look, again, as I mentioned before, I don't have an emotional interest in this. You guys, the record of the teams you've beaten is a total 10-15. Minnesota being the one with the winning record. So I think you got your work cut out for you this weekend with Dallas.
It's easily the best team that we've played. The Cowboys defense is going to be the best that we face, especially with Micah. And if we don't have Jordan Mailata, that I'm actually terrified about. That was kind of a joke, the whole sports karma thing. But having Jack Driscoll start and Micah lining up across from him is scary. I just think the NFC as a whole is so down that nobody has a great, strength of schedule right now. Look at the Cowboys. They've got one win against the winning team after the Bengals lost last night at 2-3.
Oh, we're gonna who gave those losses? We beat the defending Super Bowl champions. We beat the AFC champions, right? I mean, we beat the 4-1 Giants. Only loss. Say what you want. It's their only loss.
So I hear a 2-3 Rams team.
Hold on. All I say is
Bengals team.
Cooper Rush beat Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones beat Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't that mean that Cooper Rush is better than Aaron Rodgers? That's how I see it. I mean, that's just math.
Well, according to half of your fan base, he is, because they don't want Dak back, which is just delusional.
Easy.
But
All Cowboys fans on this podcast want him back. Thank you.
Quarterback controversy.
Not you guys, but you guys are creating controversy on the other side of Twitter with the other Cowboys fans when there really isn't one.
No.
Well, and the other thing, just seriously, so Jalen Hurts, I watched him a lot in college. I was a fan of his at Alabama. I thought he kind of got a raw deal, at Alabama, but I think that Saban did a stand-up thing helping him, and he was going to come to Miami. I wish he would have came to Miami. He might have helped us out, but Saban said, who's got the best talent? He said Oklahoma. So he went there. I've always liked him. It's unfortunate he's in Philly. Otherwise, I'd be more of a fan of his. But what about his development? It seems like, again, I hadn't seen a lot of his games, but it seems like he's kind of taking that next step.
Mike, before he gets into this, I want to do a reenactment real quick of when Jalen Hurts was drafted by the Eagles by Aiden.
Oh.
What are you doing? What is this?
I wasn't crying. I was just shocked. I was like, who does this make sense for? I was like, this doesn't even make sense for Jalen Hurts, because at the time we had just brought Wentz back on a contract for $34-35 million a year. So I'm like, all right, so this poor kid just has to ride the bench again for his whole rookie contract. I was like, at the time, this makes sense for nobody. Now we're paying him his rookie salary for a second rounder, and we can spend our money elsewhere. His development's been awesome, though. Like you said, he was great in college, and he's just a natural born leader, and he's a nice guy. So he's easy to root for. But I also like to win. Nice guys usually finish last. So him taking this development this year where a few teams have forced him to win with his arm. I know he has a few rushes. Like he had 12 carries yesterday. A lot of those were QB sneaks. They're forcing him to throw. And he's been so much better this year, taking that step forward. It's kind of an easy formula, right? Like when you have good receivers, it's easier. Like you guys know, Amari Cooper left, and now it's harder to throw the ball. Like this isn't hard. Like we talked about the Rams a second ago. You guys beat them yesterday. Their offense looks terrible. Well, they just never replaced Odell Beckham. Like they brought Allen Robinson, and he does nothing. And the offense looks worse. It's a pretty easy formula. The more talent you have, the better people are going to look.
Now, you see, I just want to bring up a point here, and I usually ad lib, but I had to look up some stats today.
I'll put up a sponsorship here while you do that.
All good, man. Jalen Hurts, 106.7 quarterback rating this season. 4 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. He took 11 sacks. Cooper Rush is only 3 points. He's 103. 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, only took 7 sacks. So I don't know, man. You know, I don't think you're relying on. He's gonna have to pick up the intensity and the pace with the passing because, you know, 6 rushing touchdowns, I'll take it all day long. Mariota's only got 2. I'm a Falcons fan, but taking 11 sacks, you know.
You see, he's got. I don't know if you ever seen the history of the show. So you see what I got behind me, right, Aiden?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey.
Oh yeah.
You know what I got. So Jimmy comes on the show. He's got nothing. He had a blank wall and embarrassing the channel. So I said, we got to do something about this. So he's got 2 pieces of Falcons memorabilia. So each time they win, he gets to put one more piece on the wall to kind of jazz up the look.
See, I got to deal with this ball breaking every friggin' week. If you go through the forbidden curtain, because I'm down in the basement, the forbidden curtain, the next room next door is where all my merch is. Rangers, Yankees, Knicks, Falcons. And that's where I can't move everything over. But
all right, so Jimmy, are you from New York?
I'm from Brooklyn, yeah.
All right, so
we lived in Florida a long time with Mike too. What's that?
So where the Falcons love come from? Prime
time. So I was a Yankees fan. He played for the Yankees, and I said, man, I love this guy with all the flash and the gold and all that. So that's how that happened.
That's me with Emmitt Smith.
Yeah,
that makes sense. We can get you a banner and it says Falcons covered in every single game this year, and we can put that back up there.
We are 5-0 covering the spread.
No, they've played good. So here's a question. My man Jose, he hates Dak, but I love him. I mean, he drives me nuts sometimes, but I do love him. The Cowboys are more physical on defense. No dudes on the Eagles are gonna be able to handle. They don't have no one like Micah Parsons. So how is your offensive line? I know you talked a little bit about it. You see what the Cowboys have done. I mean, pressure, it's just been a treat for a Cowboys fan because, for a long time, it's our defense sucks. The offense score 40. The other team scores 42. So to get a defense that we've gotten, I mean, to take that next step that they did last season and become more physical, because I think that was a thing that was lacking a little bit. We didn't have that physicality, but now – they're coming in waves. How do you think the Eagles line is going to match up to that? What are they going to do?
Well, here's the first thing. The Eagles don't have anybody like Micah Parsons because nobody has anybody like Micah Parsons. I'm not joking when I say he might be the most athletic person alive. Like this is a kid.
Aiden grew up with Micah Parsons.
I believe. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So he's from my hometown. So I've been watching this kid since literally freshman, sophomore in high school. This is a kid who was the running back and kick returner on his high school football team that won a state championship. So that's what he was doing on offense. Now they put somebody with that level of speed and size as an edge rusher, and it's amazing. So first of all, I don't think there's another comp in the league right now compared to Micah. Like we did predictions and we think he might win defensive player of the year. But
he had 9 pressures yesterday on one leg.
And 2. Yeah, he almost got hurt, and still the Rams. I don't love their offense, but the Cowboys just absolutely obliterated them on defense. So going back to the schedule thing, far and away the toughest opponent on defense that we're going to face, but we have a really good offensive line.
Yeah.
The problem is, yesterday Jason Kelce got hurt, Landon Dickerson got hurt, and Jordan Mailata didn't play. So part of being good in the NFL isn't just talent; it's execution. And it's a little bit of luck. Unfortunately, the luck part was working for us. Now it's kind of not going our way with these injuries on the offensive line at the worst time playing this type of pass rush. So I still have a lot of faith in this offensive line. You saw it at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. We had an 8-minute drive. We got the ball back with 9:43 and kicked the game-winning field goal with 1:45. And we just got behind that offensive line and told the Cardinals that we're just stronger than you. That was it. And they've done that multiple times, especially with leads in the second half where we're just like, all right, we're stronger than you. We're just going to bully you for the next 30 minutes of football. And that's what they've done. It's a great offensive line, but there's no challenge like Micah Parsons right now in the NFL.
And I see that one from Jose, I think it is, or that the Cowboys got a 3rd round pick for Micah. The Eagles let us draft him. But Aiden and I always say this together. We shake hands. We say, it was nice doing business with you. Cowboys got Micah, which was perfect. The Eagles got Devontae Smith, perfect fit of what they needed at that point for them. And we kept both of them away from the New York Giants. Nice doing business with you.
Right, exactly. If there's only Dallas Mavericks fans in this, like this is Trey and Luka, but the NFL version. Like it just both teams are like, all right, well, that worked out. Like Devontae had 10 receptions yesterday. I was very happy with how he played. And you guys are obviously very happy with having a defensive player of the year on the team.
Yeah, my buddy, the Giants fan, he's still pissed about that they could have had Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and Kadarius Toney, he's played one game, like 25% of the snap share during that game.
And he had his best game against the Dallas Cowboys in a game where he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah,
Parsons hobbling around a little bit yesterday. Is he going to be good to go next weekend?
So what I heard was today they have gotten very favorable reports on his leg. I don't know about you, Mike, but like when I saw him walk into the locker room and then I saw him stretching out the second half, and then when I saw him walking back on the field on that 3rd down, I should say limping back on the field, I was like, this is just not going to be good. But the dude's just different. It's just, I think he has a Warriors mentality where he just doesn't care. He will get it done when he has to get it done. Now, that doesn't mean, I think he's been dealing with more injuries than we even know too. I think his ankle's been banged up. His knee's been banged up. He didn't have the allergies. Okay. He had the flu when he played against the Giants.
Yeah.
And he just gets it done. So I'm not too worried. I mean, 11's going to suit up and he's going to have an impact on this game. Even if he doesn't have a big impact numbers wise, he will have a big impact because the Eagles are going to scheme for him.
They're going to have to. And I already made a call. You know, I got connections as well. I called the Giants staff. I made sure get that masseuse that was working the sidelines a little bit for that one guy. Make sure they got him limbered up. I don't know what the hell was going on. Did you guys see that video? I don't know what was going on.
Wild optics going on.
Yeah, that just, you got to love Twitter, man. I can't believe Twitter's free.
I'm just glad I didn't have this kind of stuff when I was growing up, not to make me sound old. I don't know what the hell would have happened with Jimmy and I and our friend, but I mean, the stuff that I think it's so ingenious, some of the stuff and so fast that people catch all these things, but I think it's gonna be, but one concern I will say, I'm going to keep it 100. The Eagles defensive line, their defense against our line, that could pose a problem. So, I'll throw it to you guys again, Aiden. Yeah, I'll let you go first. And what's your thoughts about going up against that matchup?
I like it. I think it's favorable for us. I said yesterday when we were doing our reaction show that I need a little bit more actually from the Eagles defensive line. Hassan Reddick's been playing out of his mind. It was very ironic because the Cardinals decided to play him at linebacker, and he's such a good edge rusher. It's kind of like the Micah Parsons thing. He's just not as good as Micah Parsons, where they had him at linebacker and like, oh, this guy can rush the passer like a madman. He's been awesome. But the other guys, Fletcher Cox has been good, and Jordan Davis just has like the funniest highlight reel of all time where he kind of just mauls people and just like, I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, but he just took Justin Pugh, put him in a chokehold and folded him to the ground. He didn't make the tackle. He just completely obliterated an offensive lineman. So I think it should be favorable. The only thing that worries me is like Zeke Elliott could be 45 years old and he could still have 102 rushing yards against us on 6 yards of carry. Like, I don't know what happens when he plays us, but it's like a Monstar situation where he takes everybody else's talent and puts it in his body and just kills us every time. So we got to not let that happen up front this week.
How is your rush defense real quick before we jump?
Good. It's been good. James Conner was all right yesterday. I think the thing is we've been up on so many opponents early on that people have been throwing to get back into the game. So we were up 24-0 on the Vikings, 24-0 on Washington. So they're throwing back. So like our rush defense really hasn't been tested like it will be with Pollard and Zeke.
Yeah.
Yep. And I do. So you can ask Aiden. I'm a big Tony Pollard guy. I love TP. I think he's He's dominant. He needs more touches. I don't think he can handle the load as a RB1 overall, but I think this is going to be a game where Zeke's going to have to get a lot of, I don't want to say the touches, but the plays, because the pass protection is going to be so important. And we saw, I don't know if you saw the film, I watched it back. Tony Pollard again just was a liability in pass protection.
That's what I was going to say. We can't. I mean, he's going to get somebody. He almost got Cooper Rush killed, but you definitely I think that's the missing piece of people. And I get it. I know that the Zeke hate, and it comes down to what he's getting paid. And I've done a lot of interviews with some former players, and I've had them on, and Rick Upchurch was the last one I had on from the Broncos. The toll that this game takes on their bodies, and that's why I'll never. If you hear it coming out of my mouth or a tweet, you guys call me out on it. I mean, what a guy makes is what he makes. I don't care. He should maximize every opportunity to get every dollar, because their body, they're never the same. I mean, you see all the issues. So I'm not going to judge a player on his money. I'm going to judge him on the value. And right now, Zeke is a valuable part to this team with his pass protection, but he runs hard. I mean, Pollard, he gets the outside. He can make things happen. He's a splash guy. But, in the fourth quarter, when you need to grind it down, I mean, Zeke's the guy that you're going to want to do it. He punishes the defense, and that's what you need. So that's just my take.
He's the guy if Hassan Reddick's screaming off the edge, if he beats Steele, or if he happens to get, the rookie at left tackle. I mean, Zeke's the guy that's going to be there to stop him. Tony Pollard, unfortunately, it's going to be a strip sack fumble, I think, if Tony Pollard's in there, if Hassan Reddick is streaming off the edge. I'm a little nervous at the inside. Connor McGovern is always up and down, right? I don't think Jason Peters is going to dress in this game. He seems like, that chest injury is still a little nervous with him. It's hurting. I don't know if it's, doesn't want to go back and play at the
the thing that I love is that when he retires, calls it up, hangs the cleats up, he's going to that Hall of Fame as a Dallas Cowboy. Nothing sweeter than that.
Jason Peters?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Oh, yeah. And it's
going
to
to wear
hurt.
that Eagles Super Bowl on when he goes to the Hall of Fame.
I know it bothers you. He went to the Cowboys again in the Hall of Fame, and Dallas Cowboys is going to be on his plaque.
And yes, Jose McGovern did play well yesterday. I will give him that. And I've been rooting for McGovern. I mean, I loved the pick coming out of Penn State. I thought they got a steal with him. Yeah. It's just been, his play has been up and down, and he sometimes struggles with the power. And I think the defensive line, correct me if I'm wrong, Aiden, brings some power on the inside.
Yeah, if you struggle with power, I wouldn't want to face Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, and Javon Hargrave. That seems like a bit of a mismatch if that's where your weakness is. Mm-hmm. That could be a disaster up front.
Yeah. Well, more importantly is let's talk about, you guys got it. You got Brown, right? You got Smith. Our secondary this has actually been one of the strengths for us now. Obviously, with Diggs and Brown and Lewis and Bland, and then the safeties, Hooker and Curse and the crew. What's your thoughts of that matchup with your receivers, our secondary?
I like it a lot. The issue I think we're going to face is teams are just pressuring the hell out of us. Like you saw, and the Cardinals did it last year or 2 years ago when we played them. It might just be their style when they have aggressive safeties like that to just bring everybody up to the line. But we were doing so many wide receiver screens and extended handoffs that we weren't taking any deep shots, which really doesn't challenge the corners at all. I'll take A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith against anybody. And I don't know who's matching up for you guys with Dallas Goedert, but he's been awesome this year. So that three-headed monster. And then you send Quez Watkins deep. Like, that's a lot for a secondary to handle. I think Kevin's been pleasantly surprised with how the secondary's played, especially at safety, because I think going into the year, he was pretty worried. I think the entirety of this podcast, we've been doing it 3 years. He's been worried about the safeties in the secondary. So there were low expectations, but still.
This has been the best safety crew since I was 8, maybe. I mean, Roy Williams.
Roy Williams and Woodson probably.
Woodson was probably, obviously, how he is not in the Hall of Fame blows my mind, but that's another story for another day. But I, like you just asked, Aiden, and we'll talk a lot more about this on our episode dropping this week, but I think J-Ron Curse is going to be a big big player in this game when it comes to Dallas Goedert. And I think Donovan Wilson's going to be a big player when it comes to Jalen Hurts and spying.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it all kind of tandem. Maybe sometimes Wilson's going to be on Goddard, and then Curse is going to be coming after Hurts. I think they're going to have, I mean, Dan Quinn's going to have a heck of a game plan. He always does. He's going to scheme it up. But I think J-Ron Curse, that is the answer to your question, Aiden, of who is going to be matched up on Dallas Goedert. And I mean, look what he's done. Look what he's done to tight ends in the last 2 years, right? Kelsey, he shuts down big time tight ends. So we'll see if he can do it on Sunday.
I was going to say, we'll see.
Doug's got a good point, though. I mean, Jalen Hurts has taken a lot of sacks this year. And Dallas defense, I didn't guess them to be this good. We first started talking, 5 weeks ago, game one. They're kicking ass. And so you have that combination of just a tenacious defense, Parsons, and like I said, Jalen's taking sacks. So that's going to be, to me, that's going to be what how this game progresses and what's going to dictate the game.
And Jimmy, the thing that I love,
we got to make Hurts pay. Like as someone put in there, with Wilson, if he tries to run, he's got to pay very dearly for that decision.
and the thing that I'm loving about this, Jimmy, is it's not, it's Micah Parsons. Obviously, we know the name, right? DeMarcus Lawrence has been playing out of his mind. Second touchdown of the year yesterday. But it's the other guys, right? Dante Fowler's had a great start to the season. That was a BS call that he had on him yesterday. Odigizua could not be stopped yesterday on the 30 snaps that he had. Neville Gallimore's now getting home. Tristan Hill has been playing really well. They did it without Quentin Bohanna yesterday. So it's everybody. I don't know if you noticed this, Mike, yesterday, but that first series, right? Dorrance Armstrong got the strip sack. It was a heck of a play. The next series, it was a completely different defensive line that they threw out there. And then they started mix and matching guys. When you can do that and you can start keeping offensive lines and offenses guessing about what's coming now, that's when you win. When you can rotate like the Dallas Cowboys defensive line can, lights out.
And my man Aiden doesn't want to hear it because here we go. You got to go ahead after I get ready to start saying this. I'm going to pop in a VHS tape. But this reminds me of the 90s Cowboys. Because
shocker. Reminds you of the 90s, the glory days. Oh, man.
But the glory days were so good. Why can't I relive it? The defensive line, they just had waves of guys. And there were unsung heroes, guys like Jimmy Jones and Sears and Tolbert and Haley, and it just kept coming and coming. Jeff Coat. It was so many guys, and they were so fresh that's why they kept able to punish. And that's what I see a lot in this defense is they're so deep in the line that they're just able to just go in waves, stay fresh, and just go after it. I think that's one of the biggest differences that you see with this defense over years past.
100%. Even a guy like Sam Williams, the rookie, he's starting to come on now too.
It'll be like Kevin and I talk about this all the time, but like when you're growing up and you're not mature enough yet, you think football is all like skill position players because it's flashy and it's cool. Teams that are good win in the trenches. Like you look at all these other contenders in the NFL or in the NFC at least, like Tampa's struggling because their offensive line is banged up. The Rams, defending Super Bowl champions, awful offensive line. They're banged up. But you win in the trenches. The Cowboys have a great defensive line. The Eagles have a great offensive line. That's why these are like two legitimate contenders because when you grow up, you realize that's what matters most.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of which, how'd you like the 12th man for Tampa Bay yesterday? You're talking about Tampa Bay. How'd you like that roughing the passer call?
That was,
we should.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't mean to go off. I know C-Dog, we talked about it before, but C-Dog mentioned in the comments. You talked about this being a family-friendly show and you're not going to curse. I had every curse word coming out of my mouth yesterday afternoon. And, you just, getting back to, the trenches and all that. This is a league that's really not as physical as it once was. And when you see plays like that and you have referees dictating games, it's just ridiculous.
I mean,
it was rough because, all right, I get you're kind of overreacting to the Tua thing, but are you really? Like, did he even forcefully throw him down? Was his head hit in any way? No, like it was the craziest call I've ever seen. It was honestly like, I'm not a Tom Brady hater. I don't disrespect him in any way, but it was just like, it reminded me of the clip of Michael Jordan asking for fouls and then they would give it to him. It kind of felt like that. And, it's just one of those like superstar calls, which is so annoying. You're right. It dictates the game in a way that it shouldn't.
Like Tom decided to come back at 45. He decided to leave his family and play football.
Literally.
Yeah,
Literally.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's his decision. He's a big boy. Okay, we don't have to baby him.
No.
It's not
And
our
I mean,
problem.
he even
He's
laid to the
exactly.
side, laid him to the sides. It wasn't even like he put all his weight on him or anything like. It was the most ridiculous thing. And I don't, I don't want to say. I guess it was a Tom Brady call. I just think some of these refs are getting overly sensitive, and maybe, like I said, to the Tua thing, they're just telling them, do that. If you get to that point, just put a flag on them or something like that. I understand you want your superstars in the game, but these guys got to be able to play defense. And you're taking that away, and you're taking, the intensity out of the game. That's when guys really get hurt. You're trying to lay out, you're trying to, hold back and this and that. So it was terrible. Better not see any of that kind of shenanigans in our game. I want it fair down the middle. I don't want no excuses. The only thing I will say is this feels a little different for me because usually the first game is in Dallas, and I'm always there. So it's always fun. We get off the fast start. We slap you around a little bit. It's over by halftime. We all party. The Eagle fans walk out, and then I get to drop a post-game video. So that I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss that a little bit, but because it's in your crib.
I told him to come up, Aiden.
We're going to see. We're going to see. But what I would say is years past, those first games, you'll remember, that's kind of what happened. The Eagles got off to those slow starts. Dallas jumped on them. Is this team resilient? If this happens, if you come down here again, are the fan base and the team resilient enough to overcome that adversity early and stay composed, or is it here we go again for that team?
For the Eagles, do you think asking if they?
I think the Eagles are they gonna if they face that adversity early like they've done against Dallas early on first game, it's happened. And the fan base is going to go nuts. But how are the Eagles players? I mean, are they do they have that mentality to overcome that, or is it the wheels are going to fall off?
Yeah. Well, listen, we're booing if we go down 3-0. That's just unacceptable. Come on, no mistakes allowed. But I do think we have the resiliency. I've never seen someone more composed than Jalen Hurts. He's obviously not the best quarterback in the NFL, but in terms of composure, he's up there with the best. And this is a team that went down 14-0 to the Jaguars. And I know it's the Jaguars. They're not good. I like Doug Peterson, but that's not a good team. And it was a torrential downpour. They lost Slay, Mulata, Maddox didn't play, and Jake Elliott got hurt too. And by the second quarter, they just took that game over. So it's a team that, they've faced adversity so far this year. Even this past week, they were up 14-0. The game 17-17 in the fourth quarter. And they were just like, all right, we got to stop picking at our food and just devour it and be done. And that's kind of what they did. So it's obviously those teams aren't as good as the Cowboys. So if we go down 14-0, it's different. But in terms of composure, I think everybody in the city and everybody in that locker room, when you have Jalen Hurts, you're like, all right, I know we're going to be composed.
Yeah. Yep. And you guys want this game. I mean, I got to think Philadelphia, because I'll be honest with you, this game, it's the season doesn't end for either one of us. I think the best thing that's happened for both of us, if I'm going to be fair to the Eagles, I'll be fair to the Cowboys, I'll be fair to both. This is the best thing that could happen because I think what hurt Dallas last year is they ran away with the division. It was, teams sucked. They blew away the NFC East. It's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a dogfight for both teams, and it's going to make them better in the playoffs. I don't care. I always compare like the Bengals, or they were 7 and whatever. They went on a streak. They were 10-7 to end the season. It wasn't like they were this, unbelievable team, but they got hot. And I'd much rather take a battle-tested team that had to fight and crawl and scrap their way into the playoffs than a team that's just going to cruise on to a division title and have it synced in 12 or 13 weeks. So I think it's going to be a good thing. And the Giants too being a better team, you got to give them credit too.
So are you gonna just roll over and say the Giants are screw them? You guys are that big dogs in the East, or what's the deal?
Yes.
Are the Giants real players?
Back up. I think the Giants are a great story. I think their coach is good. I will get your guys' opinion, but I think they're a team that they don't have the pieces yet, but I think they might be one of those teams to watch out for.
3 years down the line, I think they're going to be a good program again. Yep. So, and I will agree with you about the division title. Like last year's division title means absolutely nothing to me. I could care less. I actually wish the Eagles would have won the division last year because that means we would probably win it this year because no one repeats. The thing that I remember the most, getting our teeth kicked in against San Francisco.
Yeah. When you slid and then didn't have enough time to run another play, and you practiced it all week.
Wow.
But you executed it even though you executed all week in practice, but had
That's what I deal
double-digit
with.
penalties that week too.
Why you
I'm
got to
not
always
doing a
bring up
podcast
the
with this guy
negative in the
every day.
past? You know, what are we doing here? You're on. You show some respect to the Cowboys fans on here. I don't want
Bow
to hear
down, Aiden. You bow
BS.
down.
You don't want to talk about the beating you guys took in Tampa Bay. I didn't bring that up. Did you guys
We
score?
made it the same point.
Did you score a point?
Yes, at the end.
Okay,
It was 31-7.
as long as you did. So just to get off Cowboys, you know, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. So I'll get your predictions real quick, and then I just want to ask, you know, off NFL topic. But
Yeah.
I think obviously I think the Cowboys are going to win. You know, I don't go in thinking we're going to lose any game, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be one of those, you know, dogfight type games. Whoever has the last possession, go down there. So I think it's going to be close, but I think our defense is going to be a little bit too much to handle. I think our running game is going to get going, control the clock. I don't think Cooper Rush is going to have this great game, but I think he'll be efficient and he'll be, you know, limit no turnovers again, hopefully. And I think we squeeze it out and take care of business in Philly.
So what my head says or what my heart says?
What does your wallet say?
I never bet on my own
The
team.
ultimate
ever.
determiner.
I would agree. Deep down, I think the Cowboys honestly are going to lose this game. I really do. But I also think there's ways to win this game, just like I thought there was against the Rams last week. So this is Mike Tagg's show. I cannot predict a Cowboys loss on Mike Tagg's show. I feel like that would be sacrilege. That's like, you know, going to the altar in communion when you haven't gone to confession. I just can't do that. So I'm going to say 20-17 Cowboys with a Dicker the kicker field goal miss at the end to tie to go to overtime.
Yeah.
Is he kicking again, or is Jake Elliott going to be back?
We'll see this week.
Okay.
Cameron Dicker, he made that one long field goal at Texas, and I have irrational faith in him ever since. When I saw we got him, I was like, all right, this guy's awesome. That's all I remember.
I don't know if Mike Tagg wants me predicting because
I want a prediction because I want to give Aiden the last word. Being an Eagle fan, I'm a courteous host. I'm a gentleman. I'm always good to the guest. I hope you still have my towel I sent you. That should have been hanging up in the background.
So it's hung up in my studio at home. So,
all right.
Yes.
But Jimmy, non-biased, you've seen it. Now I don't know if you guys know this, but Jimmy is like we call him Jim Stradamus because he's predicted a lot of crazy things. He said Bridgewater was going to be the starter by week 5. He said there would be a little bit of controversy with Dallas before that, which I don't agree with. But he's predicted some stuff. We're gonna cut the tape up and prove it. But Jimmy, what's your thoughts on this game?
You know, and the reason why I kind of want to step back a little bit is because I'm like the Eddie Mush of the Cowboys. Every time I make a prediction for them, things seem to go wrong. I'm thinking,
go Eagles.
Actually, you know, I could.
I know, I won't be offended.
Frankly, I'm thinking it's 24-13 Cowboys, and I would take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank.
Wow,
Oh,
that is impressively.
Wow.
All
Double
right.
digit
No
win on the road.
Aiden, no disrespect, but 24
At night. Wait, are you guys wearing the All Blacks?
I don't think so.
Okay, then yeah, we'll
have
win.
to look it up, but I don't think that we are. I don't know why. This would be the week.
Yeah, stupid not to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I forget what I think it's like week 12 or something late that we start wearing it.
That all black Washington against us, so
yeah, those were. I don't know what people.
And the Cardinals.
Those were disgusting. I think.
Yeah. No.
Cardinals did it too.
Man, what do you got? Go ahead and give it to me. I'll listen. I promise.
All right, Mike, I like you a lot. Kevin can't predict an Eagles win on your show, but I definitely can. I think 6-0 by the end of Sunday night. And Kevin and I talked about this. Here in Philly, we have unfortunately become experts in backup quarterbacks. And backup quarterbacks are good for about 4 to 5 weeks, but they can't give you the full 16, 17 games. You think about Foles, he played about 5 games. He was phenomenal, Super Bowl, all that. Hasn't started anywhere since. But we're kind of at the end of the Cooper Rush thing. And I think it'll be a 1-possession game late. Maybe similar to the game the Eagles played this past week where it's 20-17, 23-20. Maybe they need a touchdown. It's 24-20. And just about then, that Cooper Rush, this is why he's a backup mistake, which is great for you guys. We're doing you a favor. No more controversy. Dak's back. You're welcome. So we beat you. Season goes on. Schedule gets easier. Everyone goes home happy. Eagles win.
Eagles. So you're predicting, most important, you're predicting the Eagles are going to be the first team to crack 20 against the Cowboys, right? They're gonna put the
Correct.
most points. All right.
Mm-hmm. And we are the best offense that you've seen so far. So statistically, this makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I thought, I mean, I don't know what the hell happened. I thought before the season that the Rams were all in and spent all this money and they're all, and then we got cracked on and we got, ripped up for some of the decisions we made in the offseason. I guess, maybe
it all goes back to what Aiden said. The offensive line. Their offensive line is trash. No booms, but Whitworth retires.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also what put them over the top last year, they got Odell and Von Miller halfway through the season. Now both of those guys are gone, and that was like the unique determiner that they had last year. So
yeah,
it happens.
It happened. And the thing that's funny is you'd said something I meant to jump in, but we got sidetracked. But when I was a kid, I used to always watch the draft. It was always on Saturday, and it was Sunday. So I was like, my parents, we'd find something to do in the house and just watch it all day. I used to get so pissed when the Cowboys would draft an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. Yep. And all I wanted was glamour. I wanted the wide receivers. I wanted a cornerback. I wanted the running back. I wanted everything except an offensive defensive lineman. And then as I gotten older, then I started, to your point, you start understanding that's where the game's won. I mean, you could really just focus in on that spot of the field and see who's pushing who's back, back and forth, and see who's dominating. And that's typically the winner of the game. And you see it over and over. So that's really what I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see if our offensive line can withstand you guys and vice versa. And I think it'll come down to that. So it was a great point one of you guys made, and I just wanted to emphasize it even more.
Yeah, the maturity thing. Perfect example.
I'm praying for my podcast's sake that Tyler Smith plays great because Aiden thinks he's complete trash. He always says that this guy stinks. So I've always been a Tyler Smith fan since he was at Tulsa. Loved his tape.
You couldn't even tell me what college he went to a week before the draft. No, listen, the reason I think he stinks is because I do a show with Mr. Draft himself over here, and he told me he stinks. So I'm just going by what I've heard, that he stinks. But I do think you guys are right. Like, this will come down to mano a mano. Is your defensive line better than our offensive line? And it honestly might just come down to if Jordan Mailata plays and if he's healthy. Like, if he's out there, I like our chances a lot. If Micah Parsons is going up against Jack Driscoll, he might have 4 sacks. I don't know. This could be great. It could be a disaster, like everything in life.
Yeah, we got to get it. But it's funny. I have season tickets to the Cowboys. The only game I hadn't sold yet is the Eagle game because it's on Christmas Eve. I can't go, so I put the tickets at a very high price because my heart is just saying, man, if it comes down to it, I've been to every Eagle game in Dallas for the last 4 years. Ever since I had season tickets, it's one game I always want to go to. And I put them high, and I was like, man, if someone buys them at that price, then fine. But, part of me is like, man, it's Christmas Eve. Maybe my wife will let me go if it's, if it means everything and it's all for, Marvels and stuff. So I'm holding on to them. Hopefully I'll be able to sell them because it won't matter. But I think it's going to be one of those. I think these guys are going to be battling to the end. Like I said, I don't think this game is going to decide anything for either one of us. I think, obviously for us, it hurts a little bit because that gives us, 2 losses and you guys don't have any. But I just think it's going to be fun to see how this plays out during the season.
Yeah, that game being on Christmas Eve is terrible.
Just sell them, enjoy the time with your family, spend it on Christmas presents. I don't want the Eagles to ruin your Christmas. Fly all the way there, spend the money, and then lose. That'd be awful.
Well, just understand. These eyes, you see these eyes right here? My whole life, I've been to 5 or 6 Eagle games. Never seen them lose. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I'll throw you one that was in Texas Stadium. The Eagles were beating our ass the whole game. Troy Aikman was quarterback, so maybe you guys are too young. I don't know.
No, I'm not. He is.
All right, so the Eagles, my buddy is an Eagle fan, and he's chanting, and he's hooting and hollering, and he's going crazy, singing the Eagles song every damn minute. And we come back, take the lead. The Eagles then have the ball. They go down the field. They have our kicker, Chris Bonios, or they signed our kicker that next year. He goes in for the winning kick. It might have been an 18, 25-yard kick. It was easily makeable. Botch snap. Messes up, tries to catch it, tries to throw it. We end up winning the game. And my buddy, he was so pissed. And everyone, all the Cowboy fans, of course, they started jumping on him. And he was like, he started, getting pissed off. I was like, hey, man, you've been talking that shit all game now. You got to take it out. You got to take it. I've dished it out. And if the Eagles, if they're the better team that day, I'll be the first one to send you a message like I did before. I'll give you a message congratulating you. But if we whoop that ass, don't chuck me the voicemail.
Wow.
Hey, I congratulated you. Last year I congratulated
No,
you.
you
But yeah,
did.
now if that's what's happening when you go to the games, I then definitely sell the tickets for me.
Yeah, the Christmas Eve thing is a terrible thing for me because, like I said earlier, I have a 7-month-old at home. I'm married to an Eagles fan, so she's trying to corrupt my daughter already. Right before this show, I was giving my daughter her bottle. She never, ever spits up when I give her the bottle. Right before I give her the bottle, my wife goes, "Spit up on Daddy's sweatshirt." Now all I smell is spit up because she spit up on me. And now Christmas Eve, I need to spend with my wife and my daughter watching this game. It's going to be miserable for me because I put her in a Cowboys onesie. I go to the bathroom. I come back. She's in an Eagles onesie. And now Uncle Aiden here is trying to corrupt my daughter.
100%.
That's gonna be tough. My wife, she was a Washington fan, and this true story. If you ever meet her, you can ask her. Was not gonna marry her, so she switched. Wasn't gonna happen. I remember I dated a girl and she was a Bucks fan, and she bought me like a Bucks hat. But I said, "Get this shit out of here!" Throw her out. Hey, you're coming into this household, as you can see, just like my kids. My kid, my son's 18, so he's lived through the misery of the being a Cowboy fan. And he's like, "Dad, man, we still, at the end of every season, it's always something." I said, "Look, you're going to deal with it till you're 18. You want to get out the house, be any fan you want, but as long as you're under this roof in this house,
Absolutely.
the only thing that survives are Cowboys."
Could be worse. Could be worse. My wife's from Crapchester, upstate New York, and my father-in-law was trying to corrupt the kids at a young age with that Buffalo Bills crap, and that got us into a few arguments, but I win. My kids got the Falcons gear all over the place, and that's
what matters. And Mike, you weren't going to marry her. I found out after I got married. I wore my Cowboys socks on. We got married. Everything was good. We went to take pictures. She pulled up the skirt or the dress a little bit. She had an Eagles garter on. I said, "Did I marry you while you were wearing that?" She said, "Yes."
You know what that was? That was a Ronald McDonald Miller scam.
almost signed the annulment papers that day.
Oh, wow.
Like a good Catholic.
Exactly.
Well, hey, I really want to thank you guys. I don't know if I got Uncle Cheech in the background. He's our Vegas insider, so he's going to have some predictions. Maybe he'll pick the Cowboys game. I don't know.
Can I ask Aiden one thing? I'm not trying. Real quick, predictions on the Cardinals and Phillies.
Braves, Phillies. We beat Cardinals.
Braves, Phillies. Yeah, you guys beat up on the Cardinals already. Sorry.
Braves are really good. I think they're the best team in the NL. But like the crazy thing about baseball, you can be the best team all year. You get hot in the right time. So same as what you guys are saying. Like I can't predict the Cowboys to lose. So I'll go with the Phillies probably definitely in 5.
Okay.
Gotcha. I think if they get 1 in Atlanta, they're going to be all right. I feel like the confidence has never been higher for this core.
Philly Rob.
Okay.
No, I'm a Mets fan. I grew up a Mets fan, so I don't even get it.
Go Yanks, baby.
Oh, man.
That was my grandma's fault. We didn't have baseball in South Florida, so we used to go to New Jersey, and that's what we dealt with. So anyway, hey, awesome show. I love you guys. Always great energy, great vibes. So tell the folks again, where can they find you? Because they need to make sure they hit that subscribe button. You guys gotta help these boys out. They deserve it. You need to be checking out the show because they got great stuff.
Aiden, I did it earlier, so you can do it now.
Sure. All right. On Twitter at Birds vs. Boys Pod. We have the YouTube channel Birds vs. Boys. Subscribe there. Subscribe anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything like that. TikTok. I know if anyone's 13 and watching, that seems to be our target audience on TikTok for some reason. And it's just Birds vs. Boys Pod on there as well. So follow anywhere, and we'll definitely have to have you guys on soon too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome. And I tell you, I don't know about you, but TikTok, I put my videos anywhere. It's like, I'll whore it out. But I get the most hate on TikTok. God damn, those people are relentless. They've called me old man. They call me
well, that's true.
They call me this. They call me that. I was like, Jesus. And I'm just having fun. Don't take life so serious. But
there's a 14-year-old behind that screen just causing chaos when they comment on there.
Keyboard tough guys.
But I love it. Hey, I always tell them, you took the time to write a comment. You had to have watched the video, so I do appreciate it.
So, right?
So thank you very much.
All right, you guys take care, man. Love you on the show. Let's have fun this weekend. make sure you got that phone on. Don't be hiding it if when that shit happens. So, all right.
Oh, it's coming.
I'll be
It's
ready.
coming.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cowboys.
All
Thank
right.
you, guys.
See you guys
All right,
later.
see ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy D.
Yes.
Those guys, I mean, awesome.
That was great.
But more importantly, we got to get to the business at hand. And we got Uncle Cheech. Now, Uncle Cheech had a pretty big week. He was 3-1. He was really the Ravens screwing it up at the end away
Yeah.
from going 4-0. He's 12-8 on the year. I don't know. If you do what he says and you pick one winner each time, you got money in your pocket. So hopefully you guys are following his advice for entertainment purposes only, of course. But hopefully you're following it. So without any further ado, what do you say, Jimmy D? Do we bring Uncle Cheech on? And
Benvenuto Uncle Cheech, il migliore del mondo.
Uncle Cheech.
How you doing?
Yeah, you're living the high life. You're living the high life. You're coming off a big week. You got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, feeling good. I never saw a team try so hard to lose a game as I did the Ravens last night. I was so annoyed, put it that way. I had it 4-0. Thought it was in the bag. They were ahead 10-0.
Well, the funny thing is I had one of our subscribers who actually, one of the guys who love you. He said, "I'm betting everything on Uncle Cheech. I'm betting." He bet every game. He was 3-0 going in. He messaged me and he said, "Hey," he goes, "Uncle Cheech 3-0. I got the last one." I said, "You bet each win, right?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I parlayed all 4 of them." I said, "That's where you made the amateur mistake." Uncle Cheech told you exactly what to do. You could have a lot of coin in your pocket. He got suckered into the payout and figured he'd do it. And just like the rest have made you rich, he's just another one on the list.
That's this guy who bet the 401k.
I told these people, pick one team, bet it all. You can make it up next week. You're never going to hit 4. I mean, I did it the one time, but close this time. But so close don't count. Right?
All it takes is one mistake.
One team screw up on you, and that's the end of the line.
Yep.
But anyhow,
let's hear these picks because I think you got Jimmy. I thought I saw Falcons on his list, but what do you got going on? What's Uncle Cheech feeling this week?
Well, I don't want to get Jimmy all riled up, my pal here, but I'm going to take the 49ers minus 5.5. They look like a real solid team since they got the Italian back at quarterback.
Yeah.
They look solid to me, like a contender. And I think Atlanta's got a ways to go yet, and I don't think they'll be able to compete. I think they'll cover easily. What do you think? Walio, what do you think?
Jimmy D, I got to let you have the floor. He's going against you. What are you thinking?
I don't know. We'll see. Well, first of all, talking about the spread, we were 5-0 at the spread each week, but I don't know, man. We looked good yesterday. We got screwed by the refs. You saw what happened with that roughing the passer, and I don't know if the 49ers are any better than Tampa Bay.
I think 49ers are a better team than the Bucs right now, today.
Yeah.
Today.
I mean, you are right about having the Paisan starting at quarterback, but I don't know, man. Our defense is looking good, and that's shocking because we never have a good defense. But
that's why they play the game. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Okay, my next one, I'll go to college. I got LSU at Florida. I'll take the Gators minus 2.5. I'll take the Gators.
You're feeling good. You went. Did you go with them last week or did you go against them? I can't remember.
No, that was a
week before.
No, last week I had them not covering but winning.
But winning, that's right. All right. So you got something.
They wouldn't cover, but they'd win.
Yeah. No, that was one of your ones. So give me what are we gonna do? You doing a lock?
I'm gonna do my lock. This was a tough decision. I had to call my pal Angelo up because I was kind of on the border with the Bucks at the Steelers and Denver at San Diego, or the Chargers. Were they LA now?
LA now, yeah.
And Angelo said, He said Denver looks like the worst team in the league right now. So
Jimmy called it.
I lean. I'm going to take the Chargers -6. They're at home, and I think they'll take care of business easily.
Wow.
And I told you I had to make a pot of coffee, not a cup, a pot, to watch that game last week. It was the most atrocious game. I'd rather watch paint dry. It was a disgrace to the sport. Actually.
It was a disgrace. It was a disgrace.
I'd rather watch a couple baseball games or somebody play golf before I would have watched another game like that. Terrible. Terrible.
Well, hopefully it's more decided. But all right, so that's your lock. We got to get a good upset. We need something to make these guys.
I'm going to give you the best game of the week, and it's going to be my upset special. It's going to be Alabama at Tennessee.
Wow.
I think I'm going to take Tennessee +8. Alabama's had 2 close games, 2 in a row. I don't care who the quarterback is this game. Josh Heupel has that team playing good ball. It's going to be in Knoxville. I don't know if it's at night or not, but I don't think it's going to matter.
3:30 game.
3:30. Alabama could win, but I don't think they're going to cover. I'll take the 8. Tennessee's got that team back up prominence in the SEC against now their respected team after being terrible for all these years. They've got them playing good ball.
Yeah.
And I like Tennessee in that game. I think Alabama got roughed up the last 2 games. I mean, they were lucky to get out of their skin last week.
No, they dropped to 3.
I mean, they could have won the game.
Terrible play calling. Terrible play calling.
Like high school. That's what it was.
It was high school. I mean, for all the money that they paid old Jimbo Fisher, that's the best you know.
They're going to get a refund. But anyhow, I know you're at the Miami game.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I heard people coming out of the stands say, "Oh, we got to get rid of Cristobal, get rid of the coaching staff, get rid of this, get rid of that." All right, I was a little upset about it. And then after I get home and think about it a little bit, now the coach put him in position to win. They couldn't make 1 yard for a touchdown.
Yep.
They missed a chip shot field goal. They killed the drive on the 30-yard line. He fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the coach. That's the player.
No.
The talent's not there. He's only had 1 recruiting class, and none of them are probably even playing right now. So these people got to lighten up a little bit. And I was mad as hell too because my beloved Kane.
No, it was disappointing. I think I don't know what you're feeling, but I overestimated the talent. I thought that I thought we had more talent that with a coach of Cristobal's stature and everything that he's got, that he was going to be able to flip the switch on a lot of talent. But I still think we've got some holes. And I think it's got exposed, and I think it's just going to be one of those years. But I believe in the coach. I believe in the staff. I think they're going to get it right. Like I said, and I'll stand by it. If the Canes can't get it together under this coach, it's never going to. If the U can't get back under this coach, it's never going to come back.
Here's what from the second half, they only gave up 6 points. Second half.
Yeah.
Just takes time, baby. It'll come.
Defense pretty much shut them down. I mean, we had our chance.
No, they did. They did.
They can't gain 1 yard. I mean, we couldn't run the ball worth a damn. They're going to have to work on the offensive line.
And that team gave up a lot of yards rushing, it looked like, in some of the previous games. So it wasn't like we were playing the steel curtain or, the Ravens defense in 2000.
400, 500 yards, lost count. But, people got to be patient. Nobody wanted to hang anybody quicker. You saw that banner up there with thanks Bush, national champs and national chumps. I wonder where that came from. How did that get up?
You might have been the one to put it up there, huh? Then you had to apologize.
I had to eat my words.
That's right. You had to apologize to Butch. You did it man to man, face to face.
I went and saw Paul Dean personally. Told him, you have got to get rid of this man. He said, Uncle Cheech, he said, be patient. Be patient. And sure enough, fielded the greatest team in the history of college football, bar none.
Absolutely.
So, Now you got me ranting and raving about this stuff, but anyhow, those are my picks. I stand by them. And tell that guy I don't play no parlays. Tell him.
I told him. I said you got to be smarter than that.
Got the most faith in, and he'll make money.
No, absolutely.
Uncle Cheech made it very clear. I'm
better than Hank Goldberg, Lefty Rosenthal, and Jimmy the Greek. Show me one handicapper that's at 75%.
And Uncle Cheech,
you're brilliant.
In week one, you told him avoid the parlays. Why would this man take money out of his 401k and bet the parlays? He would have been home with $100 bills flying out of his pockets. He would have just listened.
My dad made a living off of people like that. I'm telling you, big house on the water and all that. Thanks to people like that that played the parlays. He used to laugh. When I was a kid, he'd be calling, look at these fools. Back then playing, when I was only maybe 18, 19 years old, and they were betting $500, $600 a game back then. Parlays. My man was at the bank before anything happened. Well, not at the bank. Back then, you put under the mattress. Yeah. That was kind of illegal back then, But,
it's frowned upon. Not illegal. It's just
that's what happened. You provide a service, and that's the thanks you get.
I know. I tell these people to listen to Uncle Cheech. You got his picks. If you do exactly what he says, we're trying to get Uncle Cheech on social media. We're trying to, that way he can give us tips of the week and things like that. We're going to get him on Twitter. We got to work something. But we'll get Uncle Cheech on there. But Uncle Cheech, I appreciate you coming on the show, spreading some knowledge, helping out our audience, and making sure to give them an opportunity to win. And we got a comment from here from Sea Dog. Ballsy pick Tennessee and Bama. That's a ballsy, but that's Uncle Cheech.
That's what gambling's about, my friend. I was looking at a game like Grambling against Florida A&M. Nobody wants to bet on games like that. They don't watch that. They want big games. You got Michigan and Penn State this week too. I mean, I took a look at that, but I think Alabama, they've been pushed twice now in the last 2 weeks. Twice.
Yeah.
They could have easily lost both games. And they did fall back to number 3 because of their performance.
Yeah, they haven't looked the same. So it could be the Tennessee crowd's going to be hype. They beat Florida. They're feeling really good. They got that monkey off their back with Florida. They hadn't beaten them in a long time. I know Bama's another one they've struggled with for a long time. So maybe this is the old Tennessee Vols coming back. You never know.
Yeah, if it wasn't a home game, I would have never went with it. But it's going to be in Knoxville, and I think that's going to give them the drive. Like I said, I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I don't think Alabama's going to cover it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Oh, yeah, well, you got some support here, but my man Doug says Bama's going to lose outright. You don't even think they don't even need to worry about cover.
That's right. You know what? I'm going to give me a nice glass of Chianti, and then I'm going to go in and watch the rest of this football game.
All right. Well,
so you boys have a good night.
All right.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.
Grazie. Buonasera, Uncle Cheech. A presto.
Happy Columbus Day.
Take care.
Buongiorno di Colombo.
Oh, Jimmy D, we got it going on, man. What a great, what a great show. It was obviously was a lot of fun. We had great guests. If you guys are listening, at least on my side, I think your boy Mike Tagg might be running out to might be taking that Lear jet down to Dallas to be with my people to watch that game. So I got to find the perfect spot. So stay tuned because I might have one, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys out there and we can watch this beating together.
Got to make sure your private pilot gets the flight plan going so you're ready to go last minute. People got to, you got to have a good time. I'm telling you, man, I think it's 24-13, and I'm not talking out of my ass. I think you guys are going to troll line of scrimmage. I'm not dogging the Eagles at all. They've taken a lot of sacks, and you guys have a damn good defense, man. So that's what I'm seeing personally. But we've beaten them handily. We've beaten them handily the last several years, and it's to your point of dominating that line of scrimmage. And they've had some good offensive lines, but we've still dominated them. So I'm not disagreeing with you.
I don't know. Like if we had more firepower on offense, I'd feel a little bit better. But I just don't know if we're going to be able to make it happen.
But one thing I did want to ask you real quick, and we touched on it when Aiden and Kevin were on before. You guys really are just discounting the Giants, aren't you? I mean, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Well, the Giants, I think they're a gritty team. I think they're a tough team. I just don't think they have the firepower on offense. I just think their defense is played. They've been nice. You don't know this whole pack. I think the Packers are overrated. I don't think the Packers, have the offensive firepower that they've had in the past. So I've got to see a little bit more from the Giants. I mean, we did beat them with Cooper Rush, and yeah, maybe the score looked close, but I watched the game. It wasn't very close. We pretty much controlled it, for most of the game. We gave up some big quarterback runs that gave them opportunities to score some points. So I got to see a little bit more. Now I think they play two. God, who are they playing? I think they play two pretty decent teams the next couple games. I think this will be the test to see what they're about. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they play two pretty good games. Look at my man Rich. In.
What's going on, bro?
So, but yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I just got to see. But more importantly, Jimmy, before we get off, we have this giveaway that we got to do. I need to get with you. I need to figure out when are we going to do it. It's going to a subscriber. They're going to have to be on live. I really want to get it done this week. I want to check with your schedule. Do you have any thoughts on when we might be able to give this bad boy away? I've been holding on to it too long. I'd love it. Eagle week, and the Eagles in Dallas playing. It's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. What are you thinking?
What do you think? Maybe Thursday work for you?
Yeah, we can do a Thursday. What time is good Thursday?
What time? Probably our normal. I know we came on special time today for the birds and the boys. Maybe we push back to 7 work.
Well, it's 6 in.
That's right. Yes.
I want to give my Cowboy Nation an opportunity. Yes. So if we can do 8
on Thursday,
and basically what we're going to do is everyone who's on is going to be eligible. You have to be on, and then we're going to ask a trivia question. And if you answer it, we're going to have a call in. So if you call in and you got it right, then you're going to win it. And like I said, it depends on how many people on. If there's 10 people on, if there's 5 people on, if there's 20 people on, 50 people on, whatever it is, those are your odds of winning. Someone is going to win it that night. So we'll do it on Thursday. I'll put the word out and we'll make it happen.
8 p.m. Eastern time Thursday.
Yes.
Set your clocks. And you know what? They should always have us on. Subscribe, it just pops up all
the alerts.
We come on, pops up.
Yes. So it was an awesome show. I appreciate it. Obviously, Jimmy D, it's always great hanging with you it was an hour and 18 minutes, but we had a good time. It was
great
a lot
time.
Of fun.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Your Yankees, just lastly, I know the playoffs. Yeah. Any quick thoughts before we jet out on? We didn't get a chance to talk much baseball, but the Yankees.
I mean, we start to
Indians. I want to say Indians. Guardians.
No, the Indians. Cleveland. We're playing Cleveland, and you know what? Look at. We're going to win. All right. I don't see us losing to them. Again, we still have a lot. We still have injuries. We have nagging injuries. I don't know if LeMahieu's playing, but I don't see us losing to them. I don't know. I don't know how many games it's going to take, but I think we're going to beat them. I think it's a DS is a 5 game. I think we'll beat. Yeah. I think we'll beat them in 4.
You got a Creed in 3? What'd you say?
Yeah, Creed 3. That's right. So that's my thought.
All right, man. We're gonna get out. I appreciate it. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure definitely catch it next time. We'll be back at a regular time. We wanna be your lead into Monday Night Football, but we had an opportunity to get some great guests on Birds versus Boys. Make sure you guys, if you're subscribing here, hit them a subscribe. Make sure you follow them. They got great content. They're a lot of fun, man. They break a lot of stuff down and they just, they're good people. So I always like to support, all the podcasts. Like I said, I don't even watch, ESPN and all that shit anymore. I enjoy listening to the people that, hear from the hearts and all that good stuff. So definitely check them out.
Yeah. And again, guys, make sure this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern,
I'll put the alert out. I'm going to dedicate this to my man Aiden. This is after a beating that we gave the Eagles outside AT&T. And, you know, like I said, I might be in Dallas, so I might be dropping another one at a place near you after this game when we do it just one more time. So we'll leave you with this. You guys take care. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also hit that like.
And Dak Prescott, being the gentleman that he was, picked him up off that 50-yard line and said, "Why don't you just pack it up